Hey guys, welcome to my newest vehicle in the Supercar Ron garage. This is, I guess, kind of a newer vehicle to me, but an old vehicle in practice. This is a what year is this? Do we know?
I don't even know.
Anyway, I forget what the year is. It really doesn't matter because ultimately this thing went through a comprehensive top to bottom complete restoration and modification process. This got the complete overhaul from my friends at Revel in Southern California. David and his team have worked miracles and completely stripped this car down to studs. We did a whole repaint. We did an all new interior. As you can see, these seats are absolutely epic. We completely rebuilt the motor and the drivetrain. The suspension is all new. The brakes are all new. Wheels and tires are all new. This vehicle seats 7 people. And look, these things are maniacs off-road. I am so excited. We're actually gonna go take this into Teton National Park right now, and we're gonna go see what it can do off-road. There are very few cars or car brands that I want to love more than Land Rover for whatever reason. From the Defender 90, I have a Defender 110 that's built by Arconic. In fact, this car is replacing the Arconic 110. To the newer Land Rover Range Rovers. I mean, those full size and even the sports are so sexy. I've owned a bunch of different variations of them over the years. I think the biggest knock against Land Rover is their reliability. I think the newer ones are pretty darn reliable. The 90s era, if you upgrade the right parts, you know, between a D90 or D110, the D110 has been pretty bulletproof. We had a couple of small electrical issues, but we also have completely redone the vehicle, like gone through it. You know, Arconic does an amazing job. I think the only issue that you're ever concerned about is breaking down out in the middle of nowhere. So I have a Toyota Land Cruiser Heritage Edition, and anytime we're gonna go off-roading in this Disco, at least for the immediate future or short-term future, we're probably going to bring the Land Cruiser just in case we encounter some bumps. This is technically like our break-in drive, right? So Taste drove it up from Salt Lake City to Jackson Hole for me, and it worked flawlessly. So far, there doesn't appear to be any issues. We're going to go off-road in it, see if there's anything that kind of pops up, and I'm going to keep beating on it like I do all my other cars. But yeah, so far so good. Here at the Death Canyon Trailhead in Teton National Park. This is a road that we come up really regularly when we're here in Jackson Hole. Just 2 nights ago, in fact, 100 feet from here, we were watching a mama bear and her 2 cubs just off the side of the trail here. But we like to go back in. It's like a 1.5 to 2 mile drive up and in. It's the start to an epic hike called Death Canyon. They call it Death Canyon because everyone that goes up it dies. So we are going to be taking my new Disco II from Revel. We're going to take this up this canyon. This vehicle has actually been in build for like the last 8 or 9 months. We sourced an ultra clean Disco II. And we have 7 seats in it, so it's an SE7. But really what we've done and what's gone into this, and I'll show you a couple of the features that's happened here, but it's made it like the ultimate Disco II, especially for what I do, which is largely off-road. You can already tell just from looking at this thing that it is not stock, right? Like if you start at the very front, this is a proprietary front push bar mount system from the guys at Revel. We put the Smitty built winch on it. You know, we don't want to get stuck in this thing. If we do get stuck in this thing, we want a way out. And so we've got all the accessories to help us kind of self-extract. If you move kind of over here towards the other part of the car, we have all new suspension setup, roughly a 4.5-inch lift on this vehicle. And that is helpful because we really wanted some extra ground clearance. And so these larger Cooper Discovery Discover STT Pros. We've put those on here as well as these method wheels. We also have, I don't know if you can see through kind of the spokes of the wheel, but we have upgraded the braking as well. So the brake kit is a cross-drilled, larger rotor, better pads. And honestly, I've driven a bunch of these over the years. This thing stops way better than a stock Disco II. Once we decided to kind of let the D110 go, it was a question of like, okay, what do we replace it with now? The D110 fit 8 people, which was nice. It had kind of that jungle style seating in the back where the passengers are facing each other. I looked at everything from kind of vintage cruisers. I knew I wanted something a little bit older, by the way. I didn't want like that new. I wanted to renovate. I wanted to bring something old back to life, because that's just, I don't know, I love this kind of style of vehicle where you can take something that has these classic lines, classic driving styles, this nostalgic feel, but make it more modern, reliable, and more capable. Now here's the real beauty of this thing. We spent a lot of time talking it out and saying, hey, what should the interior look like? And what we really wanted were some of these incredible vintage touches. So you can start with the door panel here. Like, check this out, like this plaid interior with the brown leathers. The whole thing just kind of comes together. We have these insane mats that are down below. And when you actually look at the tartan plaid inserts on these custom leather seats that we had done, I really think it just kind of ties the entire look and feel of this car together. My 24-year-old content creator said, smells like the 90s in here. And it kind of does, like honestly, it kind of does. It smells like a new version of a 90s vehicle. But yes, this thing is awesome. And you know, we continue that entire design all through the whole car, you know, front seats.
Well, yep. I just moved my crap in the very back.
It just, I think it really was a nice finishing touch on the interior. And I've never seen a vehicle, especially a Disco II, that is like this stylish inside. And so this has all been customized just for us. The guys at Revel kind of helped us decide that. You can keep coming kind of to the back of the car here. We have the rear tire mount, the rear tire carrier. We've got the ladder that goes up. We have this big roof rack that I'm going to be installing some accessories on. All right, let's check out the back. We actually did find a couple of seats from a different SE7, and we have installed those here in this car. And honestly, the legroom, especially for little kids, like, is not that bad. And I have little kids, and my kids have friends, so we throw some kids back here. They actually kind of find it fun, kind of climbing through the back of the car. The other thing I decided to do very purposefully, most of the time, whenever I get a new car, I tint the heck out of the windows, right? Like, only to legal levels, but they are really, really dark. And given that we're going to be out in the wilderness looking for animals, I made sure that we didn't tint the windows. So any tint on the windows was just like factory, and it kind of came smoked. But what I really love about this, especially compared to the D110, you can actually see out compared to the D110, which the seating positions in those old Defenders are just not great for viewing. So one last feature on this vehicle, we did build out kind of the drivetrain. We refreshed everything. More importantly, we actually did some engine work. So we bored it out a little bit larger than stock. It runs a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque. Where I can tell the difference really between stock Discos and this one, it feels like down low, this thing has more pulling power. And so, you know, I don't feel like we've left a lot of stones unturned here. This has been so well thought out, and it is so clean. It's so clean, in fact, that it makes me want to go get it dirty. Let's go ahead and embark on our little Death Canyon road. And again, this is not a difficult road. I don't want to take this thing and just absolutely destroy it. Woo, the very first day down. Now look at this guy coming down on this adventure bike. A little Triumph. Oh, I love that, dude.
That's so sick.
That is so sick. So the new Discoveries are made for sissy little baby girls that have to take their kids to school every day. They're like so pansy looking. I don't know what else to say, man.
They
Like,
totally are.
Like, I think they're solely geared for moms to drive to school, and that's fine. Like, that's, yeah, in fact, you're probably going to sell a lot more of them, which is the point of any company, really, is to sell stuff and make money. They lack a ruggedness that exists in these older Discoveries. Honestly, there was a certain perception that exists of these vehicles where like they're made for off-road, you know, like go take these things off-road, beat them up, they're fully capable. And now with mine even being modded further, like I'd have no hesitation to take this to go do some pretty serious off-roading. Okay guys, overall initial driving impressions. It drives amazing on-road and off-road. I love the way it looks. It has really heavy steering, which I actually really like. I hate the new light electric steering that so many of these car manufacturers are doing. We did have one minor hiccup. I'm gonna have to have it checked out. I think coolant was leaking out from the bottom, the front left, below the engine bay. So I'll have that checked out. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Overall, I give this a 9 out of 10.